Hello, everyone, and welcome to the January 14th edition of Star Wars Headlines. I'm Rebekah Mosley, co-founder of LaughingPlace.com, and here with me to bring us all up to date on what's happening in the world of Star Wars is our editorial content director, Mike Celestino.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. I'm a little. I was just pausing to think your title. I think I totally changed the words around.
Yeah,
So.
I can never remember it either.
Editorial director for Star Wars content here at laughingplace.com. So that's who Mike is. And he's going to catch us up on all the Star Wars news. Lots going on. The High Republic has appeared, and it's doing really well.
Yeah, well, we skipped, I think, about a month worth of stuff, so lots to catch up on. But yeah, the big thing that happened recently was the launch of the High Republic, which would have been about a week and a half ago now. And I think they're very pleased with how it's doing because it landed at the very top of the New York Times bestseller list. This novel here by Charles Soule, Light of the Jedi, is number one in adult hardcover fiction. So I think that's the best you can do, right? I don't think there's any other like qualifiers that you need. But and then the other book, Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, is number two in children's
Mm-hmm.
literature. So yeah, pretty good. I think they're pretty happy. And then I had a interesting day last Wednesday, the day after the books came out, because the comic book came out, and I went to my comic shop and they were already sold out of it. Even though I was like the third person in the store. There had been a bunch of people who pre-ordered it, and I didn't do that because I usually just go there and they'll just have it on the shelf. So they didn't order enough copies, and I ended up having to drive like half an hour away to go to
Wow.
another shop, and I had called around all over the place, so they were sold out all over LA. So that comic must have been very popular as well. So I think they're very pleased with how that launch went.
Well, I know that you're a fan of Charles Soule overall. So did this did these other are these other titles as appealing to you? Because they're a kind of a different market.
Well, I thought the comic was great. The High Republic comic book by Kevin Scott
Mm-hmm.
is really good. Although there's only one issue out so far, it kind of overlaps with the Charles Soule novel as far as the story goes. But really fun. Looking forward to reading more issues of that as it comes out. Um,
Is there a particular character that you find yourself attracted more to? Like you're, more inclined towards their stories, interested to know more about them?
well, there's so many characters introduced right off the bat in the High Republic because they just dump all these Jedi on you like right from the very beginning. So the first like three novels, you're just kind of spent trying to learn like who all these people are. And I think as it goes on, because this is supposed to be like a 3 year project, this High Republic initiative, I think as it goes on, we're gonna get to know the characters a little better. Right now, I don't feel connected to really any of them because I still feel like they're all so fresh.
And some of them are appearing. We're getting to meet them more through children's books. Am I right?
Yeah, so this is the Great Jedi Rescue, also written by Kevin Scott, and this is like the kids' version of the Charles Soule novel. It's like an adaptation, a straight adaptation of the first like 110 pages of this novel,
Oh, okay.
an event called the Great Disaster, where all these Jedi have to show up and rescue a bunch of people, as the title implies there, and it's just told from a more like kid-friendly standpoint.
Oh,
So
that's
I
nice.
guess
So
they
it,
wanted a way for all these different age groups to get involved with this story.
I was going to say that's I like that idea that I don't have to necessarily read the adult novel to be up on some of the new characters that are coming to Star Wars canon.
Yeah, and that book came with stickers too. I've already put some of them on my laptop, so it was fun to have that.
Very nice. There's there's also the Star Wars Galactic Storybook hit shelves recently.
Yeah, I got a box full of like Star Wars children's books over the holiday break, and I just reviewed a bunch of them on the Laughing Place website. And this was one of them. It's like the whole Skywalker saga, but they broke it up into 6 chapters instead of 9. So a couple of the movies got like the prequel trilogy is one chapter, and then like Force Awakens and The Last Jedi is one chapter, and the other movies got one chapter each. And then the cover is like squishy. I forgot to bring it to show you, but the cover is like soft and squishy, so it's good for really young kids. But it's just like a previously on Star Wars kind of recap of the entire Skywalker saga for little kids.
And then you also highlighted some of the young you can read, to what I think of as like the you can read type series.
Yeah, these were for young kids again, but this one is just like the Mandalorian. So there were two different books, The Clan of Two, which is the same like format as that High Republic book, and it has stickers in it as well. And then Allies and Enemies is for even younger children than that, and it's very very basic text for kids who would barely just starting to read.
So here you go. Here's a little sample
Yeah.
of what it's like. So if you have a beginning reader and you want to find something that's particularly engaging, they've got the Mandalorian.
If you want your
Allies
kids,
and Enemies.
if you want your kids' first words to be Din Djarin,
right? Foundling. I know that just rolls off the tongue as well. So.
We should talk about the. Did you have the announcement of the other titles coming from the High Republic?
I do not, Mike. But if you want to start talking about them, I'll find it.
Okay,
well,
I don't remember what they are, so maybe we should just skip it.
No, it's okay. I know. I will look for that while I will bring up an image of the comic book, and while you discuss the comic book, I can look for that.
Okay.
For you.
Which comic are you talking about? I have the visual aid here as well.
Oh, well, then go with the visual aid, and I'll find the other information for you. Sorry about that.
We did have a new issue of the main Star Wars comic come out, and despite Luke Skywalker being heavily featured on the cover here, he's not actually in this issue, and that always bothers me when they have a character prominently on the cover and he's not inside. But as long as you don't care about that, it's a really good issue. Also written by Charles Soule, and they're trying to come up with a new code for the Rebel Alliance to use. Because the Empire had cracked their previous code, so they stole this ancient droid out of a Imperial museum, and C-3PO is trying to get him to. It's kind of like the Navajo code talkers, if you're familiar with like World War II history, but they're using this ancient language as a new rebel code, and they actually got like Lobot in there, Lando's buddy Lobot is helping them out, and there's some good stuff with Lando in here. Charles Soule writes Lando really well. I really like, you can really like hear Billy D. Williams' voice coming out of the Lando dialogue in this comic. I love how he writes that character, and there's some intrigue happening with him. And they're just getting ready to go up against this new Imperial commander, Zara.
Mike, I've pulled up your recap of what we learned from Lucas Publishing. Is that that's where we would find that information? Am I right?
There was a separate post called like new titles for the High Republic or something like that.
Okay, well, I'll keep looking then.
Okay. We also had, like I mentioned, the High Republic comic is also available now, but it's probably sold out everywhere as it was here in LA. And then this week we had Star Wars Darth Vader number 9. It's a continuation of the current arc, which is about Darth Vader getting stranded on the planet Mustafar, where he pretty much became Darth Vader. He got his arms and legs chopped off there, but the Emperor Palpatine is not happy with him. He dumps him off there, and he's being hunted by this guy, Ochi of Bestoon. He was introduced in The Rise of Skywalker. He's the character that killed Rey's parents, and this is long before that. He's been tasked with hunting down Darth Vader on Mustafar, and this is a continuation of that story. Were you able to find that?
Yes, I was. I've got it right here for you. Sorry about that, Mike.
That's okay. So they did announce, I think, 4 new book titles for the High Republic coming up later this year. There's one of the images there. Okay, so it's Monster of Temple Peak by Cavan Scott, who we've mentioned a couple times already. And this is actually a graphic novel, so it's going to be the first complete graphic novel released in the High Republic series. And then this is Out of the Shadows by Justina Ireland, and that's a young adult book following some of the characters that were introduced in the other novels. And then this is called The Edge of Balance. It's a manga written by a Japanese author who's stepping in to co-write with Justina Ireland. That should be pretty interesting to get like a kind of an Asian take on this era of Star Wars. And then finally, there was Race to Crash Point Tower by Daniel Jose Older, who's writing the IDW High Republic comic book, and then this is going to be a middle grade novel by him as well.
Very, very exciting time within the Star Wars universe. This whole new era is being kind of brought to life and introduced. So I haven't yet been able to myself dive into it, but I've got it in. Well, I actually have the Charles Soule book just arrived in my Kindle from the library.
Oh, great!
So,
cool.
So yeah, cool. I was able to check it out digitally from my local library.
Awesome! I hope you enjoy it.
I'm excited to give it a try. So let's see. You talked about the comic book High Republic. Did you touch on the other two comic book titles, or did you?
Yeah,
or
I think we're good with comics.
Okay, then we can go on to the news of screenwriter news.
Yeah, so they had announced this Kevin Feige Star Wars movie like a year and a half ago or something. There was an official quote about it from Disney Studios saying that, yeah, Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, is going to be producing and developing a Star Wars movie. And then we heard nothing about it for over a year. And then suddenly this past week there was news coming out of the trade publications, kind of a leak kind of thing, about this writer. What's his name? Michael Waldron. Mm-hmm. And he's working on Loki for Disney Plus, the live action Loki series, and he's writing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for Marvel Studios, but now he's also reportedly writing the Kevin Feige produced Star Wars film. So I don't know about this guy as a writer. I don't think I've seen anything yet that he's done, but we'll find out when Loki comes out in a couple months, I think, over the summer. I think that's coming. So, and then Doctor Strange 2 should be good. And apparently Kevin Feige liked this guy enough to hire him to write a Star Wars movie. But what doesn't make sense to me is, we've got the Patty Jenkins Star Wars movie, the Rogue Squadron, which I think is Christmas 2023. So that's almost 3 years from now. And then it's not another 2 years, and then we'll get the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. As far as we know, he's still working on that. They actually mentioned it at the Disney Investors Day. Kathleen Kennedy gave an update that he was writing that. So it's probably going to be like Christmas 2027 is the third Star Wars movie on the schedule. Is that going to be the Kevin Feige one? Like 6.5 years from now? Like, it just seems odd that these movies are in development, but they're going to take so very long to make them.
Correct. Yeah, no, I agree. It does seem like there's quite an enormous timeline between this announcement and when we might expect to see it on screen. So I'm interested to see, to learn more about this project that we're looking forward to from Kevin Feige.
And maybe it'll turn out to be a Disney Plus thing and they don't have to go theatrical with it or something. But, as far as we know, that was supposed to be a theatrical film. But I'm not sure where it stands right now.
Yeah. My camera is very blurry and I don't know how to make it not blurry.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It happened while I was doing all that other stuff to try and help out, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll straighten itself out. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
In other news, let's see. The world of gaming.
Oh, this was the big news that really made me excited this week because Lucasfilm Games launched in the late 80s and became LucasArts in the early 90s. And that was my favorite computer game company. As a teenager, they put out all these amazing adventure games that I look back so fondly on. I really love revisiting those games. And I spent so many hours in my room as a teenager playing both Lucasfilm games and LucasArts games. And now they are kind of relaunching this division as Lucasfilm Games again, going back to the original name after LucasArts was dissolved a couple years ago, and now the exclusivity deal with Electronic Arts is ending, so EA doesn't have exclusive rights to Star Wars anymore, which is great because everybody was complaining about that for so long because they always kind of I don't know, people were disappointed by the Battlefront games and stuff like that. Although Star Wars Squadrons and Jedi Fallen Order were both well received, but it'll be nice for other companies to get to explore the Star Wars universe in video games. And now we know that there's going to be an open world Star Wars game from uh, Ubisoft, which is a company that I have a good friend who works for that company, and I'm excited to talk to him about it as soon as the NDA is expired. But yeah, I'm super thrilled. And the other big announcement that came out of that was an Indiana Jones game from Bethesda, which is the studio that made the Fallout games and the Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls games. Those are all so fantastic. And I've been asking for another Indiana Jones video game for so long. So this is very exciting news for me. And they said there were some hints about what it's going to be about buried in that little announcement video. I haven't taken the time to go through or see if anybody has like picked it apart yet, but I'm sure it's yeah, it's just like panning across Indiana Jones's desk, and you can see like there's the Bethesda logo there on the diary, and then there's like a Lucasfilm logo somewhere in there too.
He's
But
he's traveling to Rome,
okay,
and then this to me is reminiscent of the object that was in the that he removes at the beginning of
oh yeah, so yeah, you got
right?
the idol, the idol
Thank
of
you
fertility from
for what
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
that word was not coming to me. Um, and then I noticed that the image. So underneath this, there's this map underneath the
Oh
passport,
yeah,
and it's the Sistine Chapel.
right, the map of
Is
the
there?
Vatican. So
Mm-hmm. So a
interesting.
lot of fun, and like I say, his letter. Some of the words that you can make out was as they pan over to the typewriter. I noticed that a couple of the words that came into view were "will be arriving in Rome."
Okay.
So
So at
yeah,
least so we got some Da Vinci Code happening there
right.
here.
That
Yeah.
was my thought as I was looking at the.
Yeah,
By
I
the way,
can't wait.
I also remember typing on a typewriter. My mother still had her typewriter from college, and so
Yeah.
some of my earliest papers in school, I thought I was super cool to write on her typewriter. And you had to hit it really, really hard in order to get the letters to show up. So it was a little nostalgic for me there.
That's awesome. Yeah, but we don't have a time frame or anything. I don't think they said when we can expect to see this game, but it'll probably be a year or two. But I'm super excited for that
And
to come
also
out.
this week, Lucas, the Star Wars YouTube channel featured a sizzle reel of various Lucas studio inspired games.
Oh, I
So
didn't see that. I must have
they
missed that.
had it was, let me see, I pulled it up. I had it sitting right here and now I don't see it. But it was oh, I know where it is. It's hidden behind here. Haha. Here you go. Let me pull that up for you, Mike.
Okay.
I can share it with you now. We can have a little bit of fun.
Now these are games that have come out previously or teases of upcoming stuff?
It's what they're calling a sizzle. So it's a kind of a combination of things.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is like Fallen Order, right? I
Yeah.
think.
That's Jedi
And
Fallen Order.
so there was some of that.
Squadrons.
And then this
A
feels like
Lego.
Lego
Yeah.
Skywalker Saga.
Mhm.
And this was featured on Star Wars, and I saw it on IGN,
Okay.
various channels.
Galaxy of Heroes. Oh, no, I missed out on that entirely. I'm
Oh,
not even sure what. Okay. Oh, we
oh,
did this. Journey to Batu.
mm-hmm.
I guess that Knights of the Old Republic must have been out already. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with that franchise as much as I would have liked. Battlefront is out, obviously.
But yeah, so it's like a little tease of things that have happened and things to come. And I'm excited about the arrival of the Skywalker saga, a complete Skywalker saga. So
Yeah, I saw like a 20-minute preview of that at E3, and it must have been 2019, I guess. That would have been the last E3 that happened, right? And
Wow.
I think at that point it was supposed to come out that fall, but yeah, it still hasn't come out. Keep delaying that game, the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga, but it certainly looked cool. And I heard there's like 200 playable characters in it and a bunch of vehicles. Obviously, you can ride around, fly around, and stuff. So that'll be a fun one too.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to those are my speed. The Lego games,
Yeah.
those are my speed. The other ones I try, but I do not have the eye hand coordination to keep up with those the pace of those games, unfortunately.
Yeah, I
Well,
think the Lego games are designed for more of a casual gamer.
and I appreciate that very much that they don't forget us. In the I don't want to say real world because that doesn't sound quite right, but the tangible as opposed to the digital. We had a few changes within Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World. The kiosks have reopened over by the Resistance base. These had not previously been available since the park had reopened. And as our team wrote, I guess to balance out the force, the kiosks over by the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular are not open now. They had been, and now they are closed.
So I haven't been to Hollywood Studios in a few years, I guess, but there was a gift shop by the exit of the Epic Stunt Spectacular that was all Indiana Jones stuff. Is that still there?
That's what I will have to double check on that, because the last time I was there, that was still there. But in this article, the outdoor kiosk, and it had the utility vehicle parked beside it, that has closed up. The vehicle's gone, and everything. But I don't see that the other location mentioned in this article. So I'm presuming that one is still there. That one was over by the eatery where you eat in Mom's Kitchen from the 50s.
You would know better than I.
Yeah, no, I know. The name of it is not coming to mind, and Juby is not here to help bail me out on it. The name 50s Primetime Cafe. That was the name of it. So it was over there. So also at Walt Disney World, we had some pins show up as well, right?
Oh yeah, there's the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary pins that oddly have now come out the year after the 40th anniversary of the Empire Strikes Back. And I think Jeremiah took pictures of these. Yeah.
Yeah, collection one features a screenshot. It's moments from the film. You have Chewbacca, you have the epic Darth Vader reaching towards his son, and then you have Luke carrying.
I think the third one should have been a different character with something else on his back, because that's
right.
What two of them are, and then Darth Vader's the odd one out.
Like this unusual sequence, unusual collection, and then her universe did this limited release that it was a share a pin, and the text underneath these pins, it's like you buy a 2-pack, and one says, keep me for yourself and pay it forward by giving the second one just as an inspiration to someone else, and then the one that's given, you can see it says use the Force, and it says you are chosen one to receive this pin. Always remember the Force is strong with you. And so they did this featuring Ahsoka Tano with the word survivor, with Princess Leia saying trailblazer, and with Rey saying independent, and with Padme Amidala um, saying leader. And these are pin images that we have seen before, but this was a new presentation style that's currently at the resort from her universe. And then we also had some pins come from the world of Clone Wars. These is a mystery blind bag type pin, and you can see the variety of images that are available within the box. And there was a limited release Clone War collection of helmets that was featured on this pin as well. And the details on all those can be found at Laughing Place, along with some pins that we found over on Amazon.
I have a feeling this set would have been on the Amazon treasure truck if that were still happening, because I got a similar one from the Mandalorian like a year ago or so, and yeah, it's probably something that I would have picked up if it was like a fun like hunt if I had to go and drive to the treasure truck. But I don't know if I'll order it from Amazon.
Oh,
They're fun though.
I hadn't even thought about the fact that they were probably a Amazon truck hunt. That totally makes so much more
Yeah,
sense now.
it's just when I saw it, it reminded me of that Mandalorian set that I got from the Amazon treasure truck.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, 100%. Um, in the world of Star Wars, we had some I don't know how to put it, but some sad news. I mean, it was
Right.
a tough news we got about Tom Kane. Um, and but I'll let you talk about it, Mike.
Oh yeah, well, voice actor Tom Kane, he's the basically the animated voice of Yoda in recent years. He's also done Yoda in a bunch of audio books that I've heard. When they do the audio plays or whatever, like the Count Dooku audio play, he was Yoda. He's also the narrator on Clone Wars. Every episode opens with the like narration, and he does the Commander Yularen, I think is his character name. But yeah, he suffered a stroke sadly, and I know it said when the news first came out, it said that he may not be able to do voiceover work again. But then you saw an update from somebody saying that he was maybe recovering a little bit better than we thought.
The was a tweet from a company called Galactic Productions, and they had shared that they had FaceTimed with Tom Kane, and that he is doing well in his recovery. And some of the follow up comments I saw is that obviously recovery and rehab and all of that will be very challenging, but it didn't have the same feel as some of the initial reports that had come out following his stroke. So, obviously, with these kinds of situations, time will tell. Our thoughts are with him, his
Yeah.
family, everyone trying to help with his recovery. But I was happy to, see that report. That was a very encouraging report following the initial announcements.
Yeah, it's good to hear that he seemed in good spirits in that photo and everything. So obviously, very talented guy, and that whole cast of Clone Wars always seemed like such a tight knit group. So I'm sure they were upset by the news, but hopefully his recovery goes smoothly.
Yes, I very much so. Um, well, let's see, Mike. It's time to talk about your podcast.
Yeah, so this morning I was pleased to finally announce that Who's the Bossk season 2 is ready to launch a week from today. I'll actually be recording the first episode of season 2 over the weekend, and then that will be released next Thursday, January 21st. Doing something a little bit different this year. Instead of focusing mainly on Star Wars, we're going to shift the focus or broaden the focus out to Lucasfilm as a whole in celebration of the company's 50th anniversary, since it was founded in 1971, and they're doing a nice 50th anniversary celebration with new merchandise and stuff. So I thought it's a good year to take a step, take a step back and look at the broader picture of Lucasfilm. So the entire year, I've planned out 44 episodes, and each episode's going to focus on a different Lucasfilm project from 1971 through the Disney acquisition in about 8 years ago now, 8, 9 years ago now. And it starts with THX 1138 this next week, which is George Lucas's first movie. We'll do American Graffiti. We'll do all the Star Wars movies that George Lucas was directly involved with. We'll do. Oh, you've got the Young Indiana Jones DVD set. I don't have that. That's fun.
This is just volume 1, the early years.
Oh, that's great. I got it. Maybe I'll get that off eBay so I can
Actually,
watch along with you.
I got it from Amazon.
Oh, so it's still available.
It was just still straight up available. From
Okay,
Amazon.
well, I'll have to get that too. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Young Indiana Jones. Rebekah will be joining me for that, and a different guest every week talking about all the different stuff, doing movies, TV, video games, which I'm super psyched for, theme park attractions, all sorts of stuff that came out of Lucasfilm, basically during the time when George Lucas was running it, from 71 through 2012, and then the one project that overlapped there, which was Strange Magic, which was already in development when Disney bought the company. Patty had a comment. I don't understand that one. Do you?
Me either. I was just looking at it, trying to AG. Do you? I'm lost. No. I'm sorry, Patty.
Patty, if you want to clarify, remember when AG was racy. Don't know. But yeah, super excited for this. It's going to be a fun year, and I think it's going to carry us through to the next live action Star Wars content, which is the Book of Boba Fett, which is in December. So this is my plan to get us across 2021 until that starts.
Wow, so weird. I mean, I can't even believe it. So exciting time right now. We've got you go. American Graffiti. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Patty. But that's one of my favorite albums, by the way. I had the 2-disc CD set, and I used to play that. Oh man.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
Yeah, tremendous soundtrack. And then we have a Mel's Diner right near our house. Unfortunately, in the current era, it is closed because of lack of people coming through. So they actually permanently closed their doors, not just temporarily.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I'm sad because I enjoyed going to that Mel's Diner, and then they'd have the signpost for the other locations, including the one that was the original Inspiration, which isn't too terribly far away from here.
Right, is that in Modesto?
I can't recall exactly, but I know it's up here in the Northern California region, the original. But there's a couple of them still here in the Bay Area, and when we went to Florida, we went to the one that they have there at Universal Orlando. So just as kind of a reminder.
Yeah, I used to live around the corner from the one in Hollywood, the one on Highland in Hollywood, and I would eat there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to have like a George Lucas restaurant, basically.
Exactly. Yep.
It was pretty neat. But yeah.
So that's what's coming from Who's the Bossk this year, season 2. Anything else, Mike? I think even though I forgot to pull up that one item for you, I think I got everything else covered. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think it should be a fun year, hopefully.
I'm really looking forward to the arrival of Skywalker Saga. I'm hoping it'll come before the end of the year, but I'm thinking it may not come until the end of this year, but I'm hopeful. I know that on your podcast, you often ask people kind of what you've been reading, what you've been watching. Is there something that I know in our house, we've really taken to the ABC, The Hustler. Any new TV stuff you wanna let people know about while we finish up here?
Well, I finished Westworld season 2, which I was really dragging my feet on, and that came out years ago now. But I finally went back and finished that, which I thought was pretty good. And then I took the opportunity of the holiday break to try to get into Twin Peaks again, which I feel like has always been this big gap in my movie geek and TV geek knowledge, and I always tried to watch it and never caught on with me. And I finally got through the first season, and I'm into season 2 now. And I know everybody says season 2 isn't as good after 7 episodes or whatever. They solve the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer, and then it goes off the rails. But I'm determined to get to the recent like reboot of Twin Peaks on Showtime, which I heard was
Okay.
great. So I'm like, I want to get through the whole original series and watch the movie, Fire Walk with Me, and then I want to get to the 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 Return, Twin Peaks: The Return, because
Okay.
I do like David Lynch. I like the movies of his that I've seen, but it's always been like this big gap in my I don't know, my pop culture knowledge for some reason. But I'm like determined to get through it now.
Well, right now, when I feel like so often my plans get scuttled by this, that, and the other thing, I have found great delight in the Netflix show Nailed It. I don't know if you've ever checked that out, but it's just a simple half-hour show
Yeah.
hosted by a comedian. Three people trying to bake an elaborate something, and they nail it as an amateur chef.
I have
And,
seen little bits here and there of Nailed It. Yes, and I
and
think the lady from Nailed It was on Lego Masters for an episode. Is that right? She was like a guest star on that.
oh, it could be. So yeah, so that's been my
Yeah.
evening, just kind of okay, unwind, move on with the day. So yeah, but that's it from us here. I mean, we talked about the comics, we talked about the High Republic. We'll be back next week with more news from Mike C, and he will keep us, as always, up to date on what's happening in the world of Star Wars. And I guess that's all from us today. So bye for now.
Bye.